Our second lesson for this week, week 12, is topic 14, lesson 1, time to the minute. Textbook pages 739 to 744. Prepare your book and your pen. Now let us take a look at these two clocks. First, we have here the analog clock. And the second one, we have the digital clock. The analog clock, the time is represented by hands. The hour hand and the minute hand that spin around a dial and point to a location on the dial that represents the approximate time. On a digital clock, a numeric display indicates the exact time. The number at the left represents the hour. The number at the right represents the minutes.
Xander and his mother are flying from New York to Chicago. Their plane is scheduled to arrive at 8:47. How can you use a clock to show this time? Explain how you solved the problem.
Now, let's discuss the problem in the solve and share. What you are asked to do. So in this problem, you are asked to show the hour and minute hands for 8:47 on a clock face. What tools will you use to show the hour and the minute hands? So you will use an analog clock face and a pencil. How can you show the 8:47 on an analog clock face? So first, locate the hour hand. By counting by fives and ones to locate the minute hand. So we will count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and each small tick is 1. So 45, 46, 47. Okay? So the minute hand points to 2 small tick marks past the 9 to show for the 7 minutes after 8. Then the hour hand points between the 8 and the 9. Now let's proceed to look back. How many minutes before 9 is Sandra's plane scheduled to arrive? To show a time after 8 but before 9, where did you draw the hour hand on the clock face? Be as precise as possible. 13 minutes before 9. So how are you going to draw the hour hand on the clock face? So the hour hand will be between 8 and 9. And the minutes will be here, 47. So the hour hand points between the 8 and the 9, but closer to the 9 than to the 8, since 8:47 is after 8:30.
How do you tell time to the nearest minute?
Let's find out.
The clock shows the time a train from Memphis is scheduled to arrive at Central Station. What time is the train scheduled to arrive? Write the time in digital form and in 2 other ways. Analog clocks are tools that can help you show and tell time to the nearest minute using minute and hour hands. Why is an analog clock a good tool for showing time to the nearest minute? On an analog clock, the hour and minute hands point to precise locations on the clock face and help you visualize time. Digital form uses numbers and symbols to show and tell time. You can also write time using words and numbers. Step 1. The hour hand is between 12 and 1. The time is after 12 o'clock and before 1 o'clock. Step 2. In 5 minutes, the minute hand moves from one number to the next. Count by fives from the 12 to the 8. This is 40 minutes. Step 3. In 1 minute, the minute hand moves from one mark to the next. Count 2 more minutes. The digital time is 12:42. It is 42 minutes past 12, or 18 minutes to 1. When the time is 12:42, why is the hour hand closer to the 1 than to the 12 on the clock face? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Because 42 minutes is more than half, or 30 minutes of an hour, the hour hand will be between the 12 and the 1, but closer to the 1. In steps 2 and 3, what strategies can you use to correctly place the minute hand? Count by fives from the 12 to the 8, and then count by ones to show 42 minutes after 12. Now you know how to tell time to the nearest minute.
Now let's solve the guided practice questions. Let's start from number 1. In the Memphis train example, why is 42 minutes past 12 the same as 18 minutes to 1? Explain. So the first time tells how many minutes after the hour. The second time tells how many minutes before the next hour. So they both use minutes to describe the same time between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Now let's have question number 2. An airplane landed at 3:55. Does the clock show the time the airplane landed? Explain. Look at the hands of the clock. Do they point exactly to the exact dial on the clock? No. The hour hand is pointing at the 3. It should be closer to the 4 to show 3:55. So let's have do you know how? In 3 and 4, write the time shown on each clock in 2 ways. So let's have this. Number 3. What time is shown in this analog clock? How can we tell it in 2 ways? So we can say it's 3:12, and also we can say that it's 12 minutes past 3. Okay, take a look at this question number 4. What time is shown in this digital clock? So we can say it's 43 minutes past 5. So how many minutes are there to the next hour? So remember that in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So we are going to subtract 43 from 60 to tell how many minutes are there to the next hour. So 60 minus 43. So we can say it's 17 minutes. So another way to express how many minutes are there to the next hour, so we can say it's 17 minutes to 6. It's 6 since the next hour is 6 o'clock. Okay, let's have additional examples to make you understand this lesson. Okay, now look at this clock. Look at where the short hand is pointing and the long hand. Express the time in different ways. So first is how many minutes past 6 is this? It's 20 minutes past 6. Now, how many minutes before the next hour? So you're going to subtract 20 from 60. So we can say that it's 40 minutes to 7. Or we can express it like in a digital clock this way. It's 6:20. Now let's have another one. Look at this clock. What time is this? Count the minutes by 5. And look where the short hand is pointing. So what time is this? How many minutes past the hour? So we can say it's 45 minutes past 5. Now how many minutes are there to the next hour? So again, subtract the 45 from 60. Because 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So 60 minus 45, the answer is 15. So we can say it's 15 minutes to 6. Or we can express the time by writing it like this, like what we see in a digital clock. It's 5:45. Do independent practice on page 741, numbers 5 to 7. Don't forget to answer your online assignments.